Podcast. I'm Pastor Randy Cordell. We're coming to you live from our studio at our Antioch campus here in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. Each week on the podcast, we plan to talk about all things Lakeshore. On a regular basis, we'll interview special guests and occasionally have a guest host as well. I want to encourage you, if you haven't already done so, to subscribe to the podcast, become a regular listener, invite your friends to join as well. It's a great way for us to connect midweek. If you miss it live, you can always go back and catch it later. Each episode is archived on our YouTube channel and other popular podcast platforms. I'm happy to have a guest today, my good friend Andy Cox, our elementary school pastor at our Antioch campus. Thanks for taking some time with us today, Andy. Good to have you here.
Hey, glad to finally make it.
Yeah. I always like for people to find out more about our staff members and some of your background. So tell us where you were born, where you grew up, a little bit about yourself and your family there.
All right, well, I was born in Norfolk, Virginia, on the very east coast, Norfolk, Virginia Beach kind of line right there. Grew up all my life in Virginia, and then ended up going to Roanoke Bible College, which is now Mid-Atlantic University in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. And all of my family pretty much is in North Carolina. And then while there in college, started my first youth ministry, which ended up landing me after college a position in Gum Neck, North Carolina.
Gum Neck, yeah.
Yeah, and so I was on there as a youth minister, and actually was children's minister and youth minister at a little small church there in Gum Neck, and for 10 years, and then had the opportunity to move to Nashville to work with a Christian music company that did resources for youth leaders called Interlink in 1999. So we moved from there to here. And, So I have 3 kids. A lot of people don't know they see 2 of them, but I have a son also who was in the Air Force for 10 years and ended up in Albuquerque. I can never say that. Albuquerque, New Mexico. He lives there in Albuquerque now. And then, I have a daughter, Kirsten, that just graduated, and then I have little Doris Jean, who is in 3rd grade this year, and so
Kirsten and Dory are here all the time, and I love seeing them every week. Dory will come up and give me a hug, and Kirsten always helps out. She's a great help with our program there.
Yep.
So, how did you end up, and when did you first connect with Lakeshore?
Well, part of my story too, when I ended up here in Nashville, I started going to Franklin Christian Church and met the youth minister there, and he needed some help just with the teenagers and helping with the youth program. So I jumped in there, volunteered for about 5 years, and then we planted Wellspring Christian Church down in Spring Hill, and so the youth minister left to go be the worship leader down there. So since I was volunteering, the elders there at the church said, hey, why don't you come on staff? You've already been working with the kids. So I took the youth ministry position there at the church. And so doing that, I met Mike Schwartz over here at Lakeshore. And so we would always get our youth groups together and do stuff. We went and did retreats together, fall retreats. We did some worship nights and stuff. So I got to know Mike really well, and Mike Shear too at the time. And so after, I guess being on staff there 7 years, I resigned, and my wife and I were trying to figure out, where to go to church, and we were living in Bellevue at the time, and we tried a few different churches out, and I was like, let's go to Lakeshore. I know those guys. And so we started coming over here and just fell in love with it immediately. And then my daughter, Kirsten, at the time was in elementary school and was in the children's ministry program here. And so Marie Ray, who was the children's minister there at that time, was needed some help, and so we started volunteering help in there. And then 2015, you called me and said, hey, you want to come on staff? Marie needs help.
We needed some help, and we were thankful for the growth of the church and needing to add staff. And with your experience, we just felt like the elder team, and I felt like you could be a good fit here. The kids already knew you and loved you, and it was just a good transition, I think.
It's been awesome.
You do something else, too. I don't know when you started this, but I was reminded again at our trunk or treat, you were out there in full costume, and this is an elaborate costume, a stormtrooper for us out there for trunk or treat. And I know you're part of a troop or a group that does that regularly, right?
Yes, I joined, I guess it's been 3 years now. It's a worldwide organization called the 501st Legion. And it's basically Star Wars characters that do good. It's the bad guys doing good is their motto. And so you have to be approved to be in it because they're tied in with Lucasfilms and with Disney. And so it's screen accurate suits. And so I actually had that suit made in the UK from a company that's one of the only companies in the world that have one of the original suits, and they custom build them exactly to fit you. And so we do all kinds of events around the area, parades and stuff. We're coming up on December 10th. We're doing the Star Wars Predators Night, and we've done the Nashville Sounds games, stuff like that. So it's just fun. We go to children's hospitals and things, and so it's a lot of fun. You know?
The kids love it too, man. They really enjoy seeing the character out there. And you at Trunk or Treat, we're walking around, and I saw a lot of the little kids just really, really into it. So
it's funny. Usually the adults are more excited than the kids are a lot of times.
Yeah, I think that's true too. We've got a lot of adults that grew up with Star Wars, and that's a big deal for them. Yeah. Well, I love that you have that connection with kids too. You're just so good with the kids, and we love the way you work with your volunteers as well here at Lakeshore. So if we have some listeners that are thinking about, maybe they haven't been here before, they've got elementary age children. If they were to come on a Sunday, what would they expect? How would things go for them? What's a typical Sunday morning for them?
Okay. Well, typically you would be greeted at our check-in station and get the kids checked in, and then we have a huge playroom here at the church that we have basketball goal, air hockey, foosball, carpet ball. We have a drawing station for them to draw on. We had some bouncy balls and all kinds of fun activities. So we let the kids, as they come in, kind of play back there and hang out for about 15, 20 minutes, usually while worship is going on where you can't hear us through the wall there, and let them get some energy out. And then after a little bit of recreation time, we will line them up and move them across the hall to our room where we do an opening activity. We usually have kind of a little virtual race or something like that. And right now we're actually going through learning the books of the Old Testament. We have a jingle that we're doing that they're learning through a song, learning the books of the Old Testament. Then we'll do worship and communion. And we have, during our offering time, we actually support a little kid through Compassion that we've been supporting since he was 8 years old, and he's actually 14 now. And so we spent some time praying for him and talking about him, and then we'll do lesson time. And it depends on the size of the crowd we have. If we have enough, then we'll separate kindergarten through second grade and just go across the hall to do the teaching time, and then I'll do the third through fifth. But if it's a smaller group that week, we just kind of all stay together. And we're walking through the Gospel Project now, which is a curriculum through Lifeway that kind of walks through the Bible in 3 years. And so we're in the Old Testament now, and that's kind of why we're learning the Old Testament books. And then after the lesson time, we'll end up back in the playroom and give them a little bit more recreation time, and then the parents pick them up. So.
Yeah, depending on how long that preacher goes.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes we go back there and start making noise to kind of give him a cue.
Give him a cue, that's good. Well, it's a great program, and I love the curriculum you're using too, because of the cycle it takes through the whole Bible, covering Old and New Testament stories, and gives the kids, if they're consistently attending, it'll give them a good overview of the whole Bible.
Right. And the cool thing is that, our Smyrna campus is doing the same thing. So whether you go to either campus, you're going to get the same teaching. Yeah,
I love that we coordinate the two campuses together there, because we do have some families that kind of live where sometimes it's easier to go to that campus or to the Antioch campus, and they're going to get the same thing for their kids, and they're going to get the same message for the adults as well. So it's good to coordinate like that. Well, I know that the Sunday morning program is a big part of what we do, and we certainly are appreciative of all the volunteers. You've got a good team of volunteers, I know, and I always love when people have a heart for that, and they just want to come help. So if we have some other people that are interested in volunteering on Sunday mornings, what would be the best step for them to take to let you know, to get connected and get involved there?
Yeah, they can either email me, just at andyc@lakeshorechristian.com, or if you are here, come by. I know you don't see me a lot of times. I'm in the back on Sunday mornings, but you can work your way back here, or they can actually, connect through the website, contact us and let us know. We could always use volunteers. We do have a good group of volunteers. We have some very dedicated ones that are here weekly to help out, but we could always use more. We never know how many is going to show up, and there are times we have some students that have special needs, which require a little more attention, and so like I said, we can always use the help, and would love that. If you have a heart for kids, you don't have to teach or anything, but just be there to love on them and help. Herd the cats.
There you go. Yeah. There's a lot of herding cats. And we do regularly have special needs students that just a little extra attention and so the presence of an adult there to be with them and all makes a huge difference for them.
Absolutely.
And the parents feel so good that they know they're going to be well cared for. They've got adult supervision, and they can go really get something out of the service for adults while their kids are being well cared for like that. I know, too, for parents to know, we do background checks for all of our volunteers that are working with our kids. And we have the check-in system where we have good security on dropping your kids off and then picking them back up and all that. So
absolutely,
they can feel good about that. Yeah. Well, as a part of our Children's Ministries program, too, each summer we do a week of camp out at the White Mills Christian Camp. Tell us a little bit more about the elementary camp program.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite weeks of the entire summer. We usually coordinate with Wellspring Christian Church out in Spring Hill. They usually are in charge of the week every year. Typically the first week in June it has been, and the camp is in Kentucky. It's about 2 hours away, and just a great week. It's for elementary kids up through 5th grade, and we have a theme every year. And we have some of our volunteers that work here that go to the camp also. So it's not like kids are going to be sent and not know anybody. You know, I go myself, my wife goes, and so it's just an amazing week. We have a really good time. It's a beautiful camp. The food's good.
Yeah, facilities are good. It's a really good camp, and I'm always impressed too. I appreciate you going, and you oftentimes will have some of your volunteers that can sometimes they'll take a week off work so they can go volunteer at the camp like that.
Absolutely.
It's really impressive when they do that. Yeah. Well, that week of camp, we always get good feedback, too, from the kids. They grow a lot. They make friends that are oftentimes lifelong friends for them. They see each other again the next year and the next year. And many of them make decisions about committing their lives to Christ while they're at camp. They're being taught. They're in an atmosphere where they can really think about their relationship with God. And oftentimes we'll have kids that will make the decision to be baptized. Of course, we'll always contact the parents and have them involved in that decision. But it's a great program. And we appreciate that's White Mills Christian Camp up in White Mills, Kentucky, an excellent camp there. And I know, speaking of baptism, with the age that you work with, a lot of kids during that time period are going to be asking questions and thinking about being baptized. And on a regular basis, you offer a baptism class for kids.
Yes, right? Yes. Usually we try to do it about once a quarter. It's a Saturday class that lasts about 4 or 5 hours, and it's really answers any question they have on baptism. We walk from the beginning from when sin started and right on through, showing them scripture, everything, the instances in the Bible where people were baptized, how baptism was done. And we do, it's not just like a, straight 4 or 5 hour teaching class. We take breaks. We do activities. We have hands-on stuff like craft type things they do. Yeah. We have pizza. We give them a tour of the actual baptism room back there and show them what to expect. Here's what will happen when you go back there. So it's not like the man hidden behind the curtain type scary thing. We show them like this is everything. And just walk them through everything and then have a celebration at the end kind of thing. So it's a really good class.
Yeah, and I always love it when a child has made that decision, they're getting baptized, and you bring the other kids out to watch and view and celebrate with the family that's celebrating the baptism there.
That's awesome. We love doing that.
Yeah, nothing better than seeing a young person come to that place of faith and obedience to God's call in their lives. So, and our children's program is vital to that, to how we raise up disciples of Jesus. The culture we live in today, our kids are going to hear a lot of different things out there that could be confusing, and we want to be that voice of truth and reason of what the Bible really says about these things. And it seems to be at a younger and younger age, the world is trying to reach our children with their message, and sometimes there's some good to it. Sometimes there's some things that are very confusing and not lining up well with Scripture. So the commitment we have in the children's program, and your commitment as a leader in that program to helping our children know the truth and understand it and apply it to their lives makes a huge difference. We want to thank you for the good work that you do, your wife Cheryl, and you guys work together too as a team a lot and really do a great job.
Yeah, we enjoy it. We got some amazing kids here.
We do.
Really good. And what I love about, I think, the most here, our church here at Antioch is just the diversity of kids that we have.
Wow, yeah.
And it's just such a good family of kids. And so getting the hugs from them every Sunday and just the high fives and hearing how they're doing in school. And some of them love to tell jokes and stuff. It's funny. And so it's never a dull moment.
That's right. For those who may not know, our church is a very diverse church, and that is unique in some ways. There are other churches that are diverse around the area, but not as many as you would think. So our children, when they come here, they see a reflection of the community. They see the different races and ethnicities, all different backgrounds that people come from. And that's part of what makes our church so special. We all learn from each other and grow in our relationships as we get to know people from different backgrounds and different ethnicities. So that's a fun part of our program,
yeah, it is.
too.
I love it.
Good. Well, Andy, I want to thank you for spending some time with us today. It's always good to have our listeners be able to learn more about our staff and what we're doing here in our children's program. Again, if somebody has questions or needs to contact you, just remind them one more time that email address.
It's just andyc@lakeshorechristian.com.
All right. Any complaints you've got, send them there. He's happy.
If you want to complain about Randy, preaching too long, just let me know.
There you go. Yeah. Well, seriously, he's happy to answer any questions that you've got and help you out in any way we can. And we appreciate you being here today. Thanks, Andy. Yeah. Well, before we go today, I did want to remind you of a few things we've got coming up here at Lakeshore. We've got a lot of exciting activities. Remind you that we started this last couple of weeks. We were looking at starting our Quest Bible study together. We had the books available. If you still haven't gotten your books yet, they are available each Sunday at both campuses. We're following through chapter by chapter in the book. I'll be preaching a message that goes along with that chapter. Last Sunday, we talked about how we have 3 road signs along the way on our quest to find financial health that honors God. The road signs were God owns it all, God is a generous God, and God can be trusted. This week, we're going to be talking about the fact that on our quest, on the journey we're trying to take to financial health, there is a dragon. And we're going to talk about that dragon. It's the debt dragon this coming Sunday. So I hope you'll plan to come and be with us there. Several other things going on as well. If you're not part of a life group already, we'd love for you to sign up for a life group. We'll help you get connected with one. You can do that on our website or at the kiosk when you're at our campuses on Sunday. Just click on that life group graphic, fill out that form, and someone will follow up with you. Guys, listen up. We've got a BB gun shoot coming up on Saturday, November the 12th. It's going to be a men's gathering where there's breakfast starting at 8 o'clock, and then BB gun shooting starts after that. We are having it well supervised, and we won't allow you to shoot your eye out. So we want to make sure everybody's safe, but have a lot of fun with that. We have a welcome lunch coming up. If you're new to Lakeshore, we offer these regularly. And if you've never attended one, this is a time where you have a lunch that's free. We have childcare available. When you sign up, you can tell us if you need to have childcare for your children so you could stay for the lunch. It'll be at both campuses on Sunday, November the 20th. It'll be after the 10 o'clock service at the Smyrna campus, after the 11 o'clock service here at the Antioch campus. And you can ask questions about Lakeshore, get to meet some of the staff. We'd love for you to get more connected and involved, and you may just have some questions about that, and we'll help you along the way with that. Just get signed up in advance. When you sign up, when you fill out that form, there'll be lunch options for you to choose from. Just pick which lunch you would like to have, and we'll have all that ready for you. We are now in November. I can't believe this year is just flying by. We started into the month of November now. As we look ahead to Thanksgiving and Christmas, we always like to do some outreach projects connected to that. And at both of our campuses, we've got some great opportunities for you to help out some other families. At the Smyrna campus, they're partnering again with Smyrna Elementary School, and you can help out with families there. Each Sunday for November, they're going to have the opportunity for you to pick up a stocking drive they're doing to help out with the needs at Smyrna Elementary School with some children there. Here at the Antioch campus, we're partnering with Youth for Christ, and we're going to be helping out some children that they've identified, that families that could use some help for Christmas. And we'll have a tree out in the lobby where you can pick an ornament there at the tree. And it has a list of some things that they need to get for those kids. You can go and take that and pick up those items and bring them back to the campus here. And we're going to have that going on through the whole month of November. We need to finish up by the last Sunday in November so that they have a chance to get everything ready and get it to the families, get it to the kids, the needs that they have. So look for that this Sunday at both campuses. If you've got a high schooler in your home, we have TCTC coming up in January. That's the Tennessee Christian Teen Convention. It's in Gatlinburg every year. It'll be January the 6th through the 8th. You need to sign up your young person, your high schooler, as soon as you can. Sometimes they fill up in advance, so go ahead and get that registration done. You can do that again through our website or through the kiosk at our campuses. We encourage you to invite family, friends, neighbors, coworkers to join us as we continue to connect, grow, and serve here at Lakeshore Christian Church. We'd love to see you at either campus this Sunday. Thanks for joining us today.